Stephanie White, her wonderful, wonderful, wonderful coach, was asked about her winning this award, this honor. What do you think Stephanie White did? Do you think Stephanie White was excited? Do you think she was happy? Do you think she was overjoyed by the fact that her star point guard, nonetheless, while injured, just was finally given a real honor by an organization like ESPN?
Caitlin Clark didn't just score, she absolutely dominated, leaving a trail of shattered egos scattered across the court. And now, WNBA fans are collectively losing it, watching Stephanie White spiral into what can only be described as a full-blown envy tour. The Fever coach has gone full Mean Girls mode, slinging shade and tension like it's her personal retro night. Clark, on the other hand, completely unbothered. She's out there torching defenders and tuning out the noise like the true pro she is. From icy glares to sideline drama caught in 4K, this isn't just a game anymore. It's a high-stakes soap opera with sneakers, so buckle up because this league beef is hotter than Clark's step-back three.
It looked like Caitlin Clark looked like she got a little hurt towards the end there. Is there any update on her injury?
No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Yeah, just kind of to follow up on that, looked like she was kind of grabbing at her right groin area. Is that the concern?
Oh yeah, that one? Believe me, this coach will have your stomach turning, and not from nerves or excitement, but from pure, unadulterated annoyance. And no, it's not because her name is a tongue twister or comes with some artsy accent mark. It's because every time she opens her mouth or paces the sideline, it feels like we're stuck watching a one-woman show nobody bought tickets for. She's got the ego of a Hall of Famer, and the results of a group project gone horribly wrong, strutting around like she's rewriting basketball history, while fans are just wondering how someone throwing this much shade still manages to stand under arena lights without spontaneously disappearing.
I'll now, would it? I'll let you listen in on what Stephanie White had to say when she was asked about this after they got drop kicked by 21 points? I'll let you hear. You be the judge.
Let's be crystal clear. If Caitlin Clark wasn't setting the W on fire like a 4th of July grand finale, the buzz around Kelsey Mitchell would still be hiding somewhere between a beginner's guide to birdwatching and a podcast ranking the top 10 left-handed fork reviews. And look, that's no shade on Kelsey. She's a certified bucket, no doubt, but let's not pretend she's the reason casual fans suddenly know what a pick and roll is, or why seats are packed and Twitter's ablaze. The real reason rhymes with unstoppable and pulls up from the logo like it's a warm-up shot. This spotlight wasn't some generous gift. It was dragged into existence by a one-woman highlight reel, and for the record, that kind of impact does not come from mid.
Stephanie White is a garbage human being. I am done trying to defend this woman in any way at all. So if you are white, Stephanie White was asked about Caitlin Clark getting WNBA Player of the Year. For those who don't know, she won that award at the ESPYs, and she got WNBA Player of the Year. So Stephanie White, of course, as her coach, is going to be asked about that award. So let's listen.
Yet somehow we've got coaches parading around like they're the sacred guardians of some ancient basketball temple, completely oblivious to the fact that Caitlin Clark just slingshotted the WNBA into prime time faster than a celebrity meltdown hits TMZ. The wild part? While arenas are crammed with fans in Clark jerseys, screaming like it's a Taylor Swift concert, certain coaches are pouting as if she's ruining the vibe. Ruining what, exactly? Your blown double-digit lead in the final quarter? Be serious.
Caitlin is so fortunate, as well as all these guys, really. I mean, that they don't know anything any different than the WNBA.
Steph, I don't know if you noticed or heard about it, but during the game, Caitlin got honored as the WNBA Player of the Year in the ESPYs. Just what does it mean to have her impact so far? I mean, there are a lot of really good players in this league, and she got honored as the best player in the league by the ESPYs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she continues to
There's a very clear reason why folks are lining up for overpriced popcorn and nosebleed seats that require binoculars, and it's definitely not to watch someone's complicated zone defense fizzle into a flurry of mid-range bricks. Crowds aren't showing up because they're dying to see an off-ball screen executed perfectly. No, they're coming because Caitlin Clark might just casually torch an entire defense while tying her shoelaces, and when she's not doing that, she's giving the league more buzz than a playoff game with free Chick-fil-A. So let's talk ticket refunds, shall we? Because we're dangerously close to a territory where if certain players aren't on the court, the crowd energy dips faster than a Netflix show after its second season. These fans didn't shell out their cash to witness petty coaching drama or to watch someone get benched out of spite, disguised as a strategy. They came for the fireworks and they're getting clipboards slammed instead. If this keeps up, people will start checking injury reports like they check weather forecasts, because if the star isn't playing, those seats aren't filling. And then there's this weird undercurrent, like some folks are secretly hoping Caitlin fails just to prove a tired, outdated point. It's the energy of a jealous valedictorian who can't believe someone skipped a few grades and still aced the test. They whisper about earning your spot, but what they really mean is, how dare she skip the line we've been stuck in for years? It's less about merit and more about insecurity dressed up in fancy coach speak. The very same people prattling on about team dynamics are secretly watching her highlight reels on loop, pretending not to be utterly impressed. You can practically hear the passive-aggressive whistles through the screen.
I believe it's Ohm, Stephanie, UPOS. Are you kidding me with this? This is her head coach, and this is why I said, and I've said this before, y'all, the Fever went old school WNBA. You cannot trust them. They went old school with their front office. They dialed it all the way back, bringing in Kelly, bringing in Amber. Stephanie is the epitome of old school WNBA. This is a woman married to a man, goes into the WNBA, and is now with a woman. Does that not sound, I mean, I never released a video, but I did it. So for those of you that don't know, real quick,
It's becoming painfully obvious who's genuinely threatened by rising stars and who's actually interested in winning. Because at some point, this whole charade stops being about player development and transforms into a personality contest, where the only thing being developed is someone's bitter streak. Coaches with egos as fragile as glass should not be allowed anywhere near generational talent. It's like handing a priceless Picasso to someone who only has a paint-by-numbers kit and a deeply held grudge. The league has waited years for this moment. The visibility, the viral highlights, the crossover fans from college ball. It's finally here. But instead, we're downplaying it with weird power plays so excessive even middle school gym teachers would call foul. The fact that we're even having this conversation when the WNBA is practically sitting on a golden ticket is mind-boggling. While the marketing department works overtime, the court politics are actively undoing the hype in real time. There's also this bizarre rewriting of narratives. Suddenly, being the most watched, most talked about, and most replicated player in the league isn't enough. Now it's about whether she fits someone's arbitrary definition of earning it. Meanwhile, scoreboards are glowing, and merchandise sales are through the roof. But sure, let's pretend her presence isn't single-handedly pushing attendance numbers that haven't been touched in decades. Totally unrelated, obviously.
Welcome to Keep the Vision, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification for your boy. Appreciate all the support we've been getting. Listen, man, this Caitlin Clark versus Stephanie White thing could turn ugly, and it could turn ugly fast, y'all. I have to be straight up with y'all. Stephanie White wants to play the polar opposite way that Caitlin Clark wants to play. The Indiana Fever got a big win yesterday, and it was a tale of two halves. The first half, the Indiana Fever played that Stephanie White style, that grinded out, ugly, puke basketball. Puke.
And here's the kicker. When those seats start looking empty again because fans realize their favorite players are being benched for strategic purposes, guess who's going to start whining about ratings and media attention? That's right, the very same people who treated her like a problem instead of the prize. When you're holding the league's lottery ticket, maybe don't rip it up just because you don't like who scratched it. It's a wild experience watching coaches try to assert dominance over someone who has already owned every single arena she's stepped in since college. They can pretend it's just adjusting to the pro level, but everyone can smell the insecurity radiating from that bench like burnt toast. There's a massive difference between coaching and control freaking your way into a headline, and right now, this isn't looking like player development. It's looking like revenge theater with a whistle. And when the marketing posters start photoshopping stars out because they're not even seeing playing time, don't act confused. When fans start chanting, "We want Caitlyn," louder than the actual game commentary, don't pretend you didn't see it coming. Because at the end of the day, this league doesn't need more "my system over everything" sermons. It needs the kind of electricity that gets teenage boys and grandmas alike to turn on a WNBA game and actually stay tuned past halftime. The longer these ego trips drag on, the quicker fans will start treating game schedules like concert tour dates. If the headliner isn't showing up, neither are they.
So we have Stephanie White addressing Caitlin Clark winning the ESPYs Women Player of the Year award. And you got to understand, Stephanie White, this is very important right here. You can shut down a lot of narratives. You can let the Indiana fan base know you do rock with Caitlin Clark, because as of right now, we don't think you do. You don't want the ball in her hands. You don't talk about her plays. You talk about everybody else except her. Hell, I've seen you talk about Paige Beckers more than Caitlin Clark, and when they played back and forth, and we the ones who won. You have a constant habit of doing this.
This isn't some polite high school talent show. This is prime time. It's lights, camera, and zero patience for coaching vendettas disguised as discipline. So while certain folks clutch their clipboards like sacred relics, the rest of the world is just trying to watch Caitlin Clark do what she does best: dominate, entertain, and make the sport look fun again. But sure, let's waste airtime debating whether she's ready when the only thing not ready is the coach's ego for a player bigger than their entire playbook. Meanwhile, the fans are getting restless, not because they're impatient, but because they know exactly what they came to see. And if the person writing the substitution notes can't figure that out, those fans will find a different arena to spend their money in, one where the stars actually get to shine. And just when you think it can't get any more obvious, here comes the Stephanie White Show, featuring an abundance of standing ovations for Kelsey Mitchell and strategic silence when Caitlin Clark does anything short of curing global warming mid-game. The coach claps like she's trying to summon a genie whenever Kelsey touches the ball, but when Caitlyn sinks a logo 3 while getting fouled, she blinks like her contacts just dried out. It's giving middle school drama teacher who inexplicably cast herself as the lead. Stephanie wants the confetti, the flowers, the spotlight, but it just keeps boomeranging back to Caitlyn like a heat-seeking missile, and it's clearly eating her alive, one awkward press conference at a time.
So Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever fans are having a meltdown about they god Stephanie White that they wanted so bad, man. So I've been seeing the takes, man. So now they want Caitlin Clark to demand a trade, or they want the front office to pick between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White, man. I'm not gonna say I tried to tell y'all, man, but it's just like, I was trying to tell y'all, man, like, Stephanie White is not this god that y'all was making her out to be, man.
She'll pivot to talking about players from 10 years ago like they just dropped 40 last night, because the past is her comfort blanket. Every time Caitlyn's name comes up, she dodges faster than a scared point guard caught in a double team. Suddenly it's all about the team, or leadership, or what veterans have done to pave the way. Girl, nobody's asking for a Hall of Fame slideshow. We're asking why you can't give flowers to the person who literally broke viewership records and pulled this league out of obscurity by the laces of her sneakers. Caitlin Clark is a rookie, and she's already pulling numbers that make seasoned pros look like they're running a charity scrimmage. This isn't just petty, it's theatrical. The kind of pettiness that genuinely needs its own halftime performance. Because make no mistake, this isn't coaching strategy. This is ego management disguised as mentorship. Stephanie doesn't necessarily want Caitlyn to fail. She just doesn't want her to win too much. Not more than Kelsey, and definitely not more than Stephanie herself, who seems to genuinely believe she's the real face of this team. The painful irony, she's turning herself into the villain in a season where she could have been the hero, riding shotgun to undeniable greatness.
Sabally has dropped out of the 2025 All-Star Game, which is crazy in itself, but she has. Now, she did release a post on Instagram as well. Chloe Peterson said, Satu Sabali, who is on Team Clark, says she will not be playing in the All-Star Game this weekend.
Instead, she's actively trying to outshine the sun. Caitlyn's game is electric. There's nothing normal about it. She's the kind of athlete who makes you pause your argument, your dinner, your whole life, just to see what she does next. Meanwhile, Stephanie's over here dimming the lights, drawing the curtains, and hoping no one notices the blaze. And the more she tries to dull the hype, the more painfully obvious it becomes with every weird rotation, every moment Caitlyn's benched when it matters, every press conference filled with forced smiles and cryptic praise. The worst part, Stephanie genuinely believes she's preserving some delicate team dynamic, but it's hard to have a dynamic when you keep submerging the biggest reason the team is even in national conversations. She's not building a culture, she's building a trap, one where greatness is punished if it dares to threaten her spotlight. She's the captain meticulously rearranging deck chairs, while the Titanic hits an iceberg made entirely of pettiness and PR disasters.
Hi, I'm Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, and I'm a complete clown. I'm a clown. That is what I am as a head coach. I am a clown. I am ruining Caitlin Clark. I have no idea what I'm doing as a coach. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've been sent here on a mission to ruin Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, and I think I'm doing a masterful job because I suck. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I actually have no idea how I got this job in the first place.
Imagine watching a generational player reinvent the game right before your eyes, and your immediate thought is, let me talk about someone who averaged 7 points a game in 2009 instead. That's exactly what this feels like. Watching someone try to turn a Beyonce concert into a lecture on Motown. Yes, the past matters, but don't trip over it while the future is slam dunking directly in your face. Every time she downplays Caitlyn's undeniable impact, she reveals far more about herself than she ever does about the rookie. This entire saga is orbiting around a rookie who simply showed up, lit a fire, and accidentally exposed just how microscopic some egos truly are. Stephanie wants control so desperately that she's willing to sabotage her own trajectory. She wants credit for the rise without ever acknowledging who's doing the heavy lifting, and instead of riding that colossal wave to new heights, she's standing directly in front of it with a megaphone, trying to remind everyone who's supposedly in charge. But here's the thing, no one's listening. They're too busy watching Caitlyn do what hasn't been done in years, and do it with a level of confidence that makes your favorite motivational speaker sound like a dial tone.
Gotta glaze her, but this is the Woman Player of the Year award, and you're the coach. You went out of your way to come to coach her, so I'm expecting you to really turn up right here and really congratulate Caitlin Clark for going through all that adversity, now the injuries, her getting fouled on a nightly basis, all kinds of things. If you just say all of this, some of the heat will be off you, because it looks to me like you're an agent. It looks to me like you're an agent. You're damn sure about that.
You'd think having a player like that would make a coach's job easier, but not when the coach is too busy chasing headlines. Not when she sees every Caitlyn highlight as direct competition, every sold-out arena as a personal slight, every jersey sold as a blatant threat. She's not building something, she's actively gatekeeping it. And the fans, they're running out of patience. They came to watch brilliance, to witness clutch plays, deep threes, and jaw-dropping passes. They absolutely did not come for a grudge match between coach and player, played out through bizarre substitutions and passive-aggressive interviews. Stephanie might think she's holding the steering wheel, but the ship is drifting and fast. And the iceberg isn't Caitlyn, it's that ballooning ego floating menacingly above every single decision like a dark storm cloud. You can't hide it anymore. The body language, the evasive interviews, the blatant refusal to hype the very player who's dragging this franchise into national relevance. It's all adding up. And while she's out here trying to write her own glorious legacy, the fans are already busy writing hers. And spoiler alert, it's not flattering.
Okay, I'm not saying this out of disrespect, okay? I'm not saying this out of disrespect, but I gotta say it. And I know I'm not the only guy that feels this way. Man, Stephanie White's kind of bad, bro. Look. I seen her on the press conference the other day. I'm like, she kind of bad. She's kind of bad, but you...
The story won't be about the coach who perfectly managed complex egos. It'll be about the coach who couldn't manage her own, the one who spectacularly fumbled the rarest gift in sports, a once-in-a-generation player with unmatched charisma, undeniable skill, and the entire country watching her every move. So go ahead, Keep acting like the rookie who's smashing records is just a side note. Keep trying to gaslight the entire fan base into believing this is all part of some genius grand plan. But the truth is out there. The energy is clearly off, and the fans are watching closer than ever, not because of you, not because of some tired nostalgia trip, but because one player walked into the league and reminded everyone why they fell in love with basketball in the first place. And if that's what truly makes your skin crawl, maybe coaching isn't the problem after all. Maybe, just maybe, it's simply you.